Hello, and welcome back to
The Vibes Were Off.
I'm Meg,
And I'm Catherine.
and today we have a survivor story that is a little bit different. Okay?
I'm different.
I'm different. Okay, so I want to open this.
I love opening with a song.
I know, I do love that for us. Trigger warning for anyone who has like fear of like the open ocean.
Ooh. Okay.
That's a very specific fear.
I like the open ocean.
I know you do because you're a crazy person. So I actually wrote that in here. How do you feel about the ocean? Because I know how you feel about it.
I want to go swimming right now.
Yeah.
I wanted to go, back in the day when we were kids, I wanted to join the Navy so I could go to the aircraft carriers that in the middle of the ocean because they're allowed to jump off of the aircraft carrier and like swim in the ocean.
No.
I didn't make the cut.
That's wild. What a wild
I would love to
dream.
do that.
See, and that sounds like a nightmare to me.
Well, I mean, you're with friends.
No.
It would be fun.
See, I think the only way that you're getting me more than like a few miles offshore is I have to be on like a very large ship, like a cruise ship.
Okay.
Because I think I do have a fear of like being lost at sea.
Okay.
And so at least if you're on a cruise ship, you've got like water and food and like
Unless you're get stuck at sea.
right. But even then, like
They know where
they're
you are.
coming for you, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, you're probably not going to be stuck on like a tiny little life raft fighting for your life.
Right.
Probably. Not saying that doesn't happen. Like Titanic, things happen.
You know what?
But
This
in
reminds
today's
me, I want to tell you a story. I want to tell you a little story. When your wedding, when we were in Mexico, Cabo, right?
Yes.
Yes. And we went out on the sailboat.
we did a catamaran.
Yeah, the catamaran. And so we went out and they were like, okay, you can go snorkeling now if you want. And I was like, let's go, everybody. It was a boat full of people. And then I got my snorkel and my flippy floppies and I was ready. And I looked behind me and nobody joined me on my adventure.
No, you were so excited to jump in the
Nobody.
ocean. And
So I went snorkel by myself. I was like, well, this is fun.
I'm going to go. I did. A few of us jumped in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then right back out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think I had enough when we were in California. We went to San Diego and we did like snorkeling with the tiger sharks.
Oh, we did do that.
Which was awesome.
Yeah.
But I realized then that like I'm not as strong a swimmer as you are. And like she just left me. And I had like this panic of like I couldn't find her. So
What?
yeah, it was
There
terrifying.
was a whole group of people.
Right, but I couldn't find you.
Oh, fair enough.
So I was like, that's it. She's gone. She got eaten by a shark. And
Well, I was on the struggle bus too because one of my flippers was broken. And so I just took them off and went out and did my own thing. I was like,
Yeah.
this is fine.
you're the problem.
It's me. Okay, so I'm excited. This is an ocean story then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other thing I was going to mention though is because I'm thinking of like being on a cruise ship and getting like maybe stuck at sea. And it made me think of the TV show Trainwreck. Did you see that?
I haven't seen
They
it.
did an episode on the poop cruise.
Oh,
Do you remember the
I
poop
remember the poop cruise.
And
That's why I always get a balcony just in case
in case.
something goes down. You have your own space.
Yeah, it's so good. You should watch it. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
But I'm like, even watching that, I'd be like, I think you'd be okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but this is not.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
is not a cruise ship. So, let's get into it. Here we go. Okay, so Deborah Scalling Keeley, or Kylie, I don't know which one, but that's fine, was born on January of 1958. I don't know the exact day, in Throckmorton, Texas.
Oh.
Do you know where that is?
No. Throckmorton?
Throckmorton. It's like North Texas. It's like not in the Panhandle, but it's over more west
Okay.
and up.
All right.
So like kind of close to the border
Okay.
of Texas, but not in the Panhandle.
Fair.
It doesn't really matter. That's where she was from. We love a Texas girl.
We did.
And for being landlocked, she loved the water.
Great.
And she took up sailing from a young age. She began working as a crew member on yachts, and as soon as she could, she was working and sailing all the time.
So she's like below deck style.
Yeah. I mean, but like smaller
Oh, okay.
ships, I think. And she was really good at it.
Okay.
So by 1981, I think she's maybe like 23 at this time. She became the first American woman to complete the Whitbread Round the World race.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's now called the Ocean Race, but it's a yacht race around the world that's held every 3 to 4 years, and it's been going on since 1973.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
I'm interested.
Yeah, she was great
Okay.
at sailing. So it was quite the accomplishment for Deb, and it was something that she could just add to her resume as an experienced sailor. And then in 1982, just a year after her race around the world, Deb was hired as part of a crew to deliver a 60-foot yacht called the Trashman.
It's a yacht for me. A yacht for the people.
I'm the trash man.
I'm the trash man. I come out, I throw trash all over the ring.
Every time. I love that name. But they were transporting this from Maine to Florida. So, yeah, she was like, let's get it.
Yeah.
And the crew was led by Captain John Lipoth.
Okay.
John was like a pretty experienced captain or sailor, and it was somebody that Deb trusted.
Okay.
So in like one of the documentaries I watched about her, she was talking about how, and I can't remember the ship's name, but he was like captain of a pretty, I think it was called the Black Knight. That's what it was called.
Okay.
But she was like, to captain that ship, you have to be a really competent sailor. So somebody that she trusted.
Yeah.
And then John also brought his girlfriend along, Meg Mooney.
Meg. Perks of dating a captain, huh,
Right?
Meg?
Yeah. So Meg's there. She's not a sailor.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But she's there for...
It is you. She's just going for the margs, you
Meg
know?
is me.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate.
Hopefully there's some champagne on board or something.
Yeah. Well, she's there for the vacation in Florida that her and John are going to
Okay.
take.
Yep, makes
After
sense.
this. Yeah. And it was apparent to Deb pretty early on, though, that John was not as prepared, maybe, as he should have been for this voyage.
Ooh, he's just a little too busy with Meg, huh?
He's maybe a little bit preoccupied. He's also, like, drinking a lot. So
Ooh.
Deb talks about how, like, he could find a reason to, like, celebrate for anything. So he was, like,
I woke up.
constantly, let's have a beer.
I went to the
Exactly.
bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was doing a lot of drinking.
Oof.
Yeah.
Not what you want in a captain.
No. And I mean, it's like a 6-day trek. He's very experienced. Deb's very experienced. So, like, she's not that worried about it. But she's like, come on, John.
Right.
That's basically where she's at. And they also still needed a couple more crew members. So, like, he had really only hired Deb. And she was like, well, we can't do this with me and you and Meg. 'Cause,
We gotta go pick some people up.
yeah, Meg
Okay.
can't do anything.
Meg is just laying in the bed right now.
Yeah. So they get from Maine to Maryland, which is not
Okay.
too far. And Deb gets off the boat and she's going to call her friend, Sarah Cavanaugh, who's a friend that she's met in the sailing world. And she's thinking she might call her and see if she can come join their crew.
Okay.
And as she's going to call Sarah, she actually runs into Sarah's younger brother, Brad Cavanaugh.
Okay.
And Brad is, at this point, like 21. So Deb is 24. John's a little bit older, I think, than that. And Brad is a little bit younger. But he's got a lot of sailing experience. So his whole family sails.
Right. Get everybody on the boat.
Exactly. Yeah. And Brad actually had his friend Mark with him, Mark Adams.
Also a sailor?
Also a sailor, and Mark was
Great.
British. Not that it really matters, but like for me, when I'm thinking about them talking, Mark always has a British accent.
Okay.
And they're both just happen to be looking for work.
Great.
So
Let's go.
they joined the crew. Yeah. So the 5-person crew included Deborah Scalling, Mark Adams, John Lipoth, John's girlfriend Meg Mooney, and Brad Cavanaugh.
Okay.
Yeah. And I realize every time I say Brad Cavanaugh, it makes me think of another Brad Cavanaugh. Not the same person, okay?
I was like, why does Cavanaugh sound
Yeah.
so familiar?
Not the politician.
Okay.
So it's October when they're doing this transfer down to Florida. And as they're leaving Maryland, they've got a great wind to start the journey.
Yeah.
So sails up by 10 and they get into their routine. So the way that they did it is they paired up.
Okay.
And they did like 4 hours on, 4 hours off. So Meg and Brad were a pair, and then John and Mark were a pair.
Don't put Meg with duties.
No.
What is she
Meg
gonna
did
do?
not have any duties. It was
Okay.
Deb and Brad, and then Mark and John.
Okay.
Meg was not a part of the rotation.
She imagine her just trying to like pull a sail up.
Yeah,
And you're
no,
like, no,
they
just
did
forget
not.
about it.
Yeah, they didn't put her in charge of much, really.
Okay.
So the first night was fine. Meg even made a great breakfast for everyone in the morning. So
Hey, that's great.
she's trying to do her part. But they noticed that next morning that the wind started to pick up a little.
Oh.
But it was nothing that they were really that worried about. They were all experienced sailors, so they were just going to keep on going.
Yeah.
But that evening, it had become a full-blown storm. So I'm going to try to... Because, okay, so we have survivors from the story, obviously, right?
How many survivors,
But
Meg?
sometimes people have different versions of events.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to try and tell somewhere in the middle
Okay.
of what happened
Perfect.
that night. Okay. So there is a full-blown storm now, like a
Okay.
gale force
Like
storm.
hurricane storm?
It's, yeah. It's
Almost. Yeah.
it's bad. It's bad for a 60-foot sailboat.
Okay.
In the middle of the ocean, right? So they are starting to like get the wind picking up. They're still trying to do like the people on, people off. So it was Brad and Deb, and they're just trying to like get control of the boat, right? And they basically are telling like Mark and John to go take a nap because they're drunk.
Yeah.
Right.
And we're going to need you. So
Yeah.
go sober up.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they send them downstairs and they're trying to get like a hold of the boat. It's only escalating from there. And so at some point they're like, this is not good. And John steps up as the captain.
Thankfully. Yeah.
And he actually calls in to the Coast Guard because at this point their main sail had ripped.
Oh.
And the engine was like burned out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like,
So they're like dead in the water.
so they can't really go
Right.
anywhere, but they're all the other, except for Meg, we'll just put her to the side here.
Yeah.
They are all experienced sailors. And so none of them wanted to call like the Coast
Right.
Guard, but John was like,
It's time.
it's gotta happen. So he calls into the Coast Guard and he's like, we're kind
Mayday.
of, we're dead in the
Yeah.
water. We need some help. And then, the other reason that he called in, I forgot to tell you. So Meg,
Oh, no.
yeah, she's there. For some reason, she had gone up to on deck and
Baby, no. Just stay below.
stay below. And she had gotten blown over and she
Yep.
fell on her back and
Yeah.
she hurt herself really bad.
Yeah.
So that was like another reason why John was like, she needs medical attention.
Yes.
And that's his girlfriend.
Right.
So like that was another factor that played into him calling the Coast Guard. So anyways,
it.
he called the Coast Guard and he's like, we're not doing so hot over here. We need help.
Maybe send somebody.
Right. And then, but Mark is so drunk and belligerent that he's like mad that he's called the Coast Guard. He's like, we're sailors. We can get out of this. And even Deb's like, it's kind of a shot to the ego as a sailor.
Right. Well, it's only the men that are complaining at this point.
But it's like also like, you might die
Right.
at this point, right?
Just take the help.
Take the help.
Yeah.
So he's like telling them kind of where he is. And the other problem they have is he can't even, like, even if they could get into shore, he didn't have the right map. So he
Why?
didn't know the heading of where to go to get to the coast from where he was.
That seems like some captain shit you got to know.
Yeah.
You forgot the map?
He forgot like this specific one for like where they were traveling along the coast. And they're kind of like
Yeah.
off the coast of Carolina right now.
Okay.
Of the Carolinas. So
Well, they know where land is, right? Can't they just point it towards land?
no, they can't see it.
Oh, geez.
And so he's asking the Coast Guard for a
Like
heading.
north, south,
Right.
east, west.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, at this point, it's like they're not able to steer themselves in any kind of direction
Oh,
anyways.
right.
They're doing the best that they can, but
They need help.
They need help.
TLDR.
Yeah. And at this point, Brad and Deb have been up helping for like 8 hours.
Yeah,
so they're
exhausted.
exhausted. The Coast Guard tells them that there's 2 ships coming.
Okay.
But it's going to be like 4 hours. The closest ships to them, it's like an Exxon ship and like something else. And they say,
Wow.
they're coming to your location, but it's going to be 4 hours. So Deb and Brad are like, okay, we're just going to hunker down. Let's go get some rest because we're not going anywhere.
Right.
So they go down below and go to sleep and leave John and Mark up there. Well, Mark, I guess, decided that he was sleepy too. So instead of like trying to
You're
keep
on
them,
duty.
yeah, well, he just tied off the
Girl.
the wheel.
And
And
was
then,
like, that's good enough.
yeah, decided he was going to take a nap.
Okay.
So it didn't take that long for them to get in like pretty big trouble here.
Yeah.
So Deb is sleeping and she is awoken to Brad freaking out.
Ugh.
He's like, we got to go now. And she's like on a top bunk. So she hops down and she is like knee deep in water, which is
We're sinking.
not something you want to happen when you're on a boat.
No.
Yeah. And so he's like, we got to go. And she's kind of looking around and notices that. So what happened was they kind of went up on a really high wave and like fell. And so the impact, the impact of them hitting the water punched out a window. And so the water was like gushing into the cabin
okay.
from the busted window.
Okay.
And then they go up and Mark's up there still drunk, just like hooting and hollering and calling them wusses and like he's been in worse storms than this.
Okay. How old is this child again?
I think he is in his early 20s too.
Ah, there it is.
Yeah. And thinks he knows everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so John is sending out a mayday, like, we are going down now. And they were, at this point, they had been doing
Drifted off.
well, they had been doing hour updates
Right.
with the Coast Guard. So they were checking in every hour. And so, but he just like, got last mayday, like ship's going down.
Yeah.
And so
How far away is the nearest ship right now?
it's still got to be a
hours?
couple hours.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so Mark goes to get the like main life raft that has all the supplies on it.
Oh, why does he need a life raft? He can't just swim?
Well, at this point, like the boat
Don't be a wuss.
The boat is tilted and is sinking. So they're
Right.
like, okay, we got to get off now.
I guess.
So Mark is in charge of getting the main
No.
raft
Why?
and all the
We
supplies.
leave Mark in charge of this.
I don't know. And Brad is like, okay, I'm going to do something. So there's another like small dinghy, like
Yeah,
life
yep,
raft dinghy. And so he grabs that and throws it into the water and
Okay.
they jump off. So basically everybody's off. But then they hear poor little Meg.
They forgot Meg.
Well, and she's like, she's the only one who's not experienced on the
Baby.
ocean. And she's freaking out. And she is like wrapped up in the rigging, like in the ropes and
Oh,
stuff.
no.
And she's like screaming for help.
Yeah.
And Deb is like, she's going to die if I don't go back for her. So she swims back to the boat, the sinking boat.
Right.
And kind of untangles her and gets her over
Where's her
to,
boyfriend?
he's saving himself.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. So she gets her over to the little dinghy that Brad got out.
Okay.
And so, and Mark is over here because the one that he had, it was like an inflate one.
yeah.
And it's a bigger one. So he pops it and inflates it. And then a gush of wind just
takes it.
takes
It's gone.
it. And there's no way for them to get it. Yeah. So, I mean, thank goodness
Oh no.
that Brad got the smaller little life raft dinghy, because then they would have had nothing.
Jeez.
So they're all like hanging on to the edge of this boat. I'll call it a life raft for the purpose of this, but it's flipped over. So they're holding on, and the storm is still raging. So there's just no way. I think at one point they try to get into the life raft, and the waves are just tossing that back out. So they're like, we're just going to hold on. And then they decide that they're going to stick their heads in.
Oh, yeah,
You
like
know, 'cause it's
Pirates
like-
of the Caribbean style.
Exactly. So they're like, okay, we'll just pop our heads in
Yeah.
and hang out under there because it's
Does
cold.
that work?
Yeah, it did work for them.
Okay.
But the problem was it's October.
Yeah,
And it's cold. And so they're all kind of going under there to get out of the wind and out of the storm. But poor little Meg is claustrophobic.
Oh no. Which it's
I-
not going well
I'm
for her.
Super claustrophobic.
Yeah.
So I am Meg. She is me.
Wait, so they didn't have life jackets on?
No.
At least? Oh, they don't even have life jackets.
No.
Where are the life jackets?
They have nothing but the clothes on their back and this dinghy.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh shit. There's still time to go get a life jacket.
No, the
Or
boat
the boat's
is
gone.
It's gone.
Oh.
It is gone. It sunk in like 2 minutes.
Oh shit.
It went down fast. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So they are, except for Meg, all under there. And
Wait, where's Meg?
She's outside, still holding on.
Oh,
just onto the outside.
She's like,
of
I'm
it.
gonna take a risk.
Yeah. Well, she was like freaking out, having a panic attack. She's like, I
Okay.
can't do it.
Okay.
So they're like, okay.
Good luck.
And John, her boyfriend's like, okay.
Bye. We had a good run. All right.
Which I'm like, John, come
John
on.
sucks, man.
Yeah, at least solidarity. Stay out
Yeah.
there with her. What if she floated off? You wouldn't have
They
known.
wouldn't have noticed.
So, but what they did was, which I think is pretty genius, but again, not something I could have done because of my claustrophobia. But they had like a rope or a wire
Okay.
kind of attached to this dinghy, and they tied it off in a way where they could like rest their bodies on top of it, and they kind of like got up in it and like got out of the water.
Oh.
So they're like laying
Right.
on the rope, hovering in the thing to keep out of the water because they're so cold
Right.
and the water's just making it worse. So they do that for a little while and then they will, come out and get air and then try to like flip it and get a little air pocket.
Right.
And they just kind of continue to do that through the night.
Through the night.
Yeah.
I thought the boat was almost there. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
And then Meg is just chilling outside still.
She's chilling. Yeah.
Okay.
So she's hanging
She's Jack in Titanic.
Yes. Yes. I'll
Hold
never
on,
let go.
Jack. Like,
So, fortunately for the group, at dawn, the storm finally let up.
great.
Unfortunately for the group, no one had activated like the emergency locator beacon that was on the yacht.
Oh.
They had their position when they like did the last call, but it's very possible that they could have like drifted a long way from there. And they were about 150 miles off of the Carolina coast
Okay.
at this point. So
It's pretty far.
yeah. But they think still at this point that like the Coast Guard is coming at some point.
They said they were coming.
Yeah. They think that they're coming. So but unfortunately, especially for Meg, she's not doing well.
Meg.
What they like can't really see right now is that her legs are like shredded from getting caught up in the rigging of the ropes.
Oh
like
my
they
God.
shredded her legs, and so she was not doing well. So they made the group decision to flip over the raft so that they could all get inside. So, because Meg, she just couldn't tread water anymore. So she gets in, and John and Brad gets in. Yeah. But Deb and Mark stay in the water.
Okay.
Because when they get out, it's so cold that they like can't bear it. It's like the wind chill is like 40 degrees.
Dang.
But like you're soaking wet and
Right.
it's crazy windy. So they are freezing. So while Deb and Mark are in the water, they kind of start to go at each other. So
Perfect time. You know what? Let's air our grievances.
listen, everybody's
This
on
is the
edge.
time to do it.
Okay. It's a stressful situation. Mark's kind of a dick. Okay. And he's just like running his mouth as usual.
Jesus.
He's like cussing, he's kind of being a jerk. And he keeps shouting at Deb to stop kicking him. So
She's like, I'm not touching you.
right. Well, she's like, I'm not kicking you. And he's like, in his little British voice, like, stop kicking me.
Stop kicking me, would ya?
Stop it.
Can you do the rest of this podcast with a British accent, please?
Just for the Mark part.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she's like, bro, I'm not kicking you. But she's like, okay, let me just like stick my head underwater to see like where his legs are so that I can get as far away from them as possible. Right? 'Cause she's like, if I am maybe accidentally kicking you, let me get away from you.
Yeah. What you see under there?
So she had a hard look around and she noticed a bunch of like long, like tubular bodies around her. And she's like, oh, fish.
I went straight eels. It's the electric eels.
The shrieking eel.
Yeah. The shrieking eels.
I didn't even think about that.
They're
That's amazing.
coming from you.
Well, no, that's not what she thought of. She thought fish. And then as one got a little bit closer to her, she realized it was not fish. It was sharks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's blood in that water.
There's blood in the water and there are hundreds of sharks circling them, like right underneath the life raft. So of course,
at that point, you're just like, cool, I'm going to get eaten by a shark.
no, she's like freaks out. And she's like, sharks. And so her and Mark scramble onto the life raft with everybody else.
Cool. Sure.
Yeah.
Because there's room.
No. Well, yeah. Maybe what you're picturing a dinghy, but let me give you more of a layout of it. It's an 11-foot dinghy.
Okay.
Which,
it's small, but not.
Small.
I was definitely picturing like
a tiny,
3 feet.
tiny. Yeah.
4 feet.
It's 11 feet by like 4 feet.
Okay.
Or something like that. But there's 5 full-grown adults on this thing. So they were
Did their
not gonna
best,
do well. And the sharks now are like like the noise I think has brought them there. And so they're circling them, they're hitting the boat, they're like trying to flip the boat over. Like it's a crazy situation.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what I would like. I don't even know.
I have accepted my fate.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm going to get eaten.
And this is it.
Yep.
So Brad decides that they are just like too at risk of tipping over. And so he's trying to figure out a way to maybe like weigh them down, like try to figure out how to do an anchor or something so that it's harder for them to flip them. And they had like a piece of wood and that wire that they had been laying on.
Right.
And so he tied that to the boat and to the piece of wood and he threw it in the ocean.
Okay.
To hope it would like sink and become an anchor. Well, I guess one of the sharks was like, ooh, food, and grabbed it and took them on a little ride. Like a little.
It's like fishing, but they're the bait.
Yes.
You're coming with us.
Can you imagine? And
to
think about how large this shark had to be able to drag.
Yeah, because I am picturing like smaller sharks.
Yeah.
But
no.
you're talking about these like great whites?
Must have been. A shark
Jesus.
big enough to be able to drag a life raft with like 700 pounds of people
Right.
on it.
Okay.
And like it was nothing.
Uh-huh.
And so they quickly.
So they're just like, cool.
Right. Well, they're like, oh, that was a bad idea. So they quickly like untie it and like stop. And so they're at this point, they're like, okay, let's just stay as still as we possibly can and quiet as we can to get the sharks to stop.
I'll go away.
Yeah. So eventually it died down.
Okay.
And so this is day 2.
Where are the boats? You said we're coming.
Yes. So still no boats. But they're keeping hope alive, right? They should know where they are. Like maybe they drifted a lot. So they're just waiting for somebody to find them. But they don't have any food. They don't have any water. All of their little emergency supplies drifted off when Mark failed to keep hold of them.
This might be rude, but like the first thing I always think about in these kinds of situations is like, where is everyone pooping and peeing?
In the boat.
Like,
yes.
Are you just like butt off of the side
That's
and
funny
going?
No. Yeah, that's funny that you think
I have a
about that.
nervous tummy and like immediately I'd be like,
this is gonna
everyone turn around.
This is gonna play into it. So,
okay.
Yeah, buckle up. Okay, so they are in the boat. They're there's not really anywhere for them to go.
No.
So they spend 2 days in this small boat, the 5 of them, drifting, hoping that they're going in the right direction.
Right.
What they don't know is that they're actually drifting the opposite way. And they are freezing. They are dehydrated.
Yeah.
They're hurt.
Poor Meg.
Meg is not doing well. And they're all kind of hurt. You know, they've all got like bumps and bruises and scratches. So it is not going well for anybody. And everybody's starting to get pretty delirious at this point.
What is Mock going to say next?
Mock. So Deb and Brad decide that they're going to like team up. And they make a pact that they're going to protect each other. So
This turned into Survivor so fast.
so fast.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, if we have to eat a few people,
Well, they're so
Meg's first.
They're delirious,
Yeah.
and they're like, we're a
Start
team.
pushing people over.
Yeah, well, they're like, you know, we'll sleep in shifts, watch each other's backs. So they're in full Survivor mode.
Okay.
And so since Deb and Brad were together, it was kind of like John, Mark, and Meg were like a little team over there. But they were not doing well.
Over there right next to them.
Yeah. They were not doing well though. Like, and Meg is kind of where it really started because she was losing it at this point.
Aw.
So she's got all these like gashes in her legs, and they had tried to cover her up as much as possible with like clothing that they had. So her legs are covered.
Okay.
But she's like moaning and screaming that her legs hurt. And so finally they like uncovered them just to take a look at them, and it was not good. So her legs were like bright red and on fire.
Yeah. Probably
So-
infected.
Very infected. Her wounds were oozing, like there was pus coming out. It was not very
Yeah.
good. So it was very obvious that she was very infected.
A lot of trouble.
She's in a lot of trouble. Yeah. They're like, she's not gonna make it if we don't get help very soon. And even then they were like, Deb was
Maybe
like,
not.
this,
Yeah.
it's kind of a lost cause here, it seems like.
God, Deb was like, fucking toss her.
Deb is
We gotta go.
cutthroat.
Yeah.
And
Deb's
I
like,
love her.
but poor Meg didn't even want to be there.
She didn't. Yeah, I feel so bad for her. But Deb, she's cutthroat, but she's also like really nice. So she's just trying to comfort Meg. And so she's over there, and Brad's kind of near her. Like, it's okay. The Coast Guard is
with
coming still. No.
Like, close your eyes.
But somebody's gonna come. Somebody's gonna find us. A ship will pass. Like something
Sure.
will happen,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then Deb hears like kind of something behind her, like a slurping noise. And so she turns around, and John and Mark are drinking the ocean water.
Oh,
They are
okay. So we don't have to worry about them pretty soon. Perfect.
Over the side, going at it. Right.
No.
And so Brad and Deb start yelling at them to stop.
What are you doing?
Right. Like they're all sailors, so they know.
Yeah.
Right. And if you don't know, you shouldn't
Salt
drink
water.
salt water.
No bueno.
Yeah. It's not good for you. It's going to already dehydrate you, and they're already dehydrated. So it's going to be worse for
Yeah.
them. And Deb's like, it's basically the kiss of death for a sailor. If you get to the point where you're drinking seawater,
Oh.
you're done.
Okay.
So she's like,
Well, look, 2 more down.
right. Well, she's like, your brain goes, your kidneys start to malfunction, like, and you go crazy. So it's
Yeah.
like, if you don't die from drinking the seawater, you're going to die from whatever delusions you start having or hallucinations you start having. And, yeah, so it wasn't good.
We're deteriorating very fast.
Very I mean, it's been 2 days.
Yeah, but just 2 days? You're experienced sailors.
Right. But they don't have any water or food.
Listen.
They're freezing.
Yeah.
Like, so they're losing it. They don't have the energy. But they're kind of all arguing. Well, Meg, Mark, and John are arguing.
Perfect.
The ones that are going the craziest
Yeah.
are all over here arguing and yelling about how they're all going to die. And it's not a good situation. And Brad and Deb are like, the sharks are going to come back if you guys don't shut up. So they're just trying to like de-escalate the situation, which good on them
Right.
for trying to
Trying,
calm
yeah.
everyone down. But at this point, it's pretty much a lost cause. So Deb recalls like them drinking the seawater to like the hallucinations, it was like just a few hours.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. So we are into day 3 now, or maybe even going into day 4.
Okay.
So they're losing it. They're like, John's talking about needing a cigarette, and he's like, I know we bought cigarettes. Where are they? Like that kind of stuff, right? And then out of like nowhere, John stands up and he's like, land. I see land. It's right over there.
Okay.
And everybody else is like, John, there's no land.
He's like,
And he's
I'm
like,
swimming for it.
He's like, guys, don't worry. The land's right over there. And he thinks, because he's losing it. So his mom is a nurse, and she works in like Portsmouth or something like
Portsmouth, yeah.
yeah. And he's like, my mom is a nurse over there. Meg, we're going to get you. She's able to help. We're right there. And so he's like, I'll just go get my pickup truck and I'll come back for you guys. And so he's just talking crazy.
Right.
And they're trying to convince him that there's no land and there's nothing. And he just walks off the boat and starts swimming because he thinks he's swimming to the land.
Yeah.
And Deb is like shouting.
That's the last time we ever saw him.
Well, Deb's shouting at Brad to do something, and he's so exhausted. He's like,
what do you mean? What am I going to do?
exactly. He's like, what do you expect me to do? And
Can't fight him because he'll drown you.
Right. Meg is crying because that's her boyfriend. So she's like, come back. What are you doing? And he gets like about 200 yards away. They can't really see him anymore, but they hear his screams. And then silence.
The sharks.
Yeah. So it's not a good situation. They just lost the first member of their crew here. Nobody, though, is like really has the energy to be that upset about it, though.
Yeah.
So, like, Deb says it's such a
They're like,
crazy
crazy.
thing. They're like,
Oops.
uh-oh. And, like, Meg is obviously distraught, but she's not, like, sobbing or anything. She's just distraught.
Did she drink any of the salt water?
She did not.
Okay.
Yeah. So...
But she's probably got a crazy infection right now.
Right.
So she's hallucinating.
Yeah, she's probably got like blood poisoning at this point. So she's also not doing well. So Mark decides like, because you know they kind of all teamed up. So Mark's like, I'll take care of Meg. I know I'm like Cockney.
Yeah.
So he's like, don't worry, I'll take care of her. I got her. Okay. So he goes over and he's comforting Meg.
Sure.
Mark is. But then Deb and Brad start to notice that his comforting is turning a little bit sexual. Ooh. And he's like, don't worry, love. I know what'll take your mind off John.
No.
Let's have some sex.
I mean, but honestly, at that point, you're about to die. Go for it.
If the other person is consenting,
Right.
go for it. But Meg is like, John, obviously not into it.
Not the time. Yeah.
And Mark's like, come on, you stupid bitch. And
Okay, somebody push him over.
it's not going well. And so, like, Brad comes over and kind of grabs him off her and is like holding him. But he's exhausted too.
Right.
But he's like,
Let's not do
basically-
a rape, please. We're already really down bad.
Okay. We don't need an also a rape.
Right.
Jesus. Basically, yeah. He was like, we've had enough of your shit, Mark.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like it'd be super just...
Yeah. Well, he's like, just sit down and shut up.
Yeah.
And everything will be fine. So, of course, Mark is like, fuck y'all and fuck this. And I'm going to the 7-Eleven to get some beer and cigarettes.
Yeah, get some for me.
And so, you know, part of them was like, get rid of him. But also they're like,
It's not him.
yeah, he's delirious. And so Brad is like, you know that we're in the middle of the ocean, right? You know that you can't go to 7-Eleven. And Mark's like, I know. I just need to stretch my legs. So he gets out of the boat and is like holding on to the boat. But it's like, I'm just stretching my legs. I'll get right back in. And then he went under. And so
He was drug under or?
yes.
Oh, okay.
So, but the kind of the problem for them in this situation is that it's right by the boat.
Right.
And so
Did he like try to take the
no,
boat down?
he didn't do that. But now there's like a frenzy, like a feeding frenzy.
Because there's 2 people now that they've
right
eaten.
under the boat. And like, they can feel Mark being eaten by the sharks underneath the life raft. Yeah.
Okay.
And then now they're frenzied again. And so they're like hitting the boat and trying to get it over again.
Oh, Jesus.
And so they're like just hunkered down trying to make it through this. And Deb said it felt like they were eating him underneath the boat for hours. She said it felt like it lasted for hours. So we're 2 down.
God. I mean, arguably the 2 that we could lose. Okay.
You know, yeah, you hate to like talk bad about anybody, but if anybody was gonna go down,
Well, the captain should always go first, right?
Yeah.
Like, so that happened.
and he did.
Yeah.
But it's also like you two are experienced sailors. You knew better than to drink the water,
Yes.
and you did it anyways.
Right.
So like, I think that they couldn't deal.
Maybe they knew this was going to happen.
Right. They were like, they just didn't want to
Yeah.
put up the fight anymore,
Right.
is what it seemed like. So, yeah. So now it's the 3 of them, Deb, Brad, and Meg. And Meg's not doing well.
But good on Meg. Like, not a sailor, and
She's hanging in there, though.
She's
She's trying. So Deb, again, is just trying to comfort her. She's kind of holding her. And she said that Meg starts to kind of like wave her hands above her head. And like it's starting to get dark. But she's like waving her hands in the air and talking, mumbling to herself. And they're both thinking she's probably pretty close to death.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a matter of time. So they're like, Deb's just like, I'm going to hold her, and they go to sleep. They wake up. Meg is dead.
Meg.
I know. But I feel like she
I
went
was
out.
hopeful for her.
She was a champ, though.
She
I
did.
feel like
She fought for
she
her
held
life.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, poor baby.
But if her dumb boyfriend would have gotten her out into the boat
Yeah.
when he should have,
He just left her to fend for herself.
right? Because it was the getting tangled up in the ropes that got her.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Poor
it didn't seem
Meg.
like he tried to help her at all. And remember, she was already injured because she
Yeah,
had
her
fallen.
back. Yeah.
Right. So, poor Meg.
So now they have a dead body.
Yes. So Brad and Deb decide to bury her at sea. So they take off her clothes so that they can use those to,
Yeah.
help them because it's still cold. And they take off the jewelry for her family. Briefly,
Wow.
Brad brings up eating her.
Yeah.
And Deb's like, she is infected.
That's the first thing. I was like, I totally would have.
Yeah.
But that she died of an infection.
Right.
We don't want that.
That we can't do that. And so they get over that pretty quickly. But they did say like the Lord's Prayer,
Yeah.
and they lowered her overboard like very gently. But they said they like got in the bottom of the boat and kind of laid down so that they wouldn't see the sharks eat Meg.
Take her.
Yeah. So we're down to 2.
But they did. The sharks got her.
Assuming. I mean, either she sank.
They didn't feel it like Mark.
No, they
Oh,
didn't
okay.
feel it. So they laid there for a little while. And then Deb really is like, okay, let's take survey. I think it's day 5 at this point.
No one's coming.
Right. Well, they haven't had anything to drink
Or eat.
except for they have had it rain a couple times. So they've
okay.
had rainwater a few times, which is probably the only reason that they're still alive because we can't go that long without
Right.
water. But they haven't eaten, and they're on the verge of just giving up. But Deb is like survivor. She's like, we gotta do something here. So she's like looking down, and she's looking at the stew of pus and excrement and pee and blood. And
Right.
she's like, they've got open sores. And so she's like, they already probably have like staph infections and stuff like that. But she's like, we've got to get the bottom of this boat clean, or like we're going to have a really big problem. And so Brad was like, no, I don't want to do that. The sharks, they might
Yeah.
still be here. And so Deb like kind of stuck her head in the water. Like Brad held her. But she kind of looked to see, and she didn't see any sharks. So she was hopeful that maybe they weren't there anymore. And so they're kind of getting ready, and Brad is like pulling to try to flip it. And Brad falls out of the boat, out of the life raft. And so obviously they're like freaking out. And Deb is trying to help him back in the boat, but he's a big guy. He's like 6'2", 200 plus pounds. He's a big guy. And so she freaks out because they're a team.
Right.
And she's like, what did I just do? Like, if the sharks come back, he's done.
Yeah.
And so she's kind of like freezes up and freaks out, and she's just like crying in the raft because she can't get him back over.
Yeah.
And he's like, you bitch, like, you did this, what the hell?
Oh my God.
And he's mad. And so finally, though, he, like, I guess gets
it
enough
up.
strength to get into the boat, but they are in a fight.
Ooh.
Yeah. So they're like
Perfect.
on opposite sides, not speaking to each other. And she's just like sobbing. She's like, I'm so sorry. Like, I wasn't trying to hurt you or anything like that. And he's just like, no, I'm not talking to you. And so they sit in silence for a while. And she's at the point where she's like, I'll do anything. Like, maybe we can try to fish. Like, she's trying to come up with ways that they might survive. And then she hears Brad, and he's like, a ship. I see a ship. And Deb's like, okay, whatever. Like, because they have...
Sure you do.
They've seen a couple ships, but they've all been so far away.
Right.
That there's just no way. They don't have paddles. They don't have anything to get themselves anywhere. And so she's like, yeah, okay. But she looks finally, and the ship is pretty close. So it's a large cargo ship.
Oh.
And it's floating pretty close to them. And so they both stand up.
Yeah.
They're waving their arms like, please help us.
Yeah.
And then Brad sees somebody on the ship.
Okay.
Like on the deck.
Yeah.
And then he sees another person. So it seems like
They're coming out.
they
to
saw
see.
them.
Yeah.
And they're coming out. And so they're so excited.
I don't like the way you're setting this up.
No. It's good.
You're like, and then they walked back into the ship. Bye.
No, well, they did think for a second that, like, they weren't gonna, like, see them or they were gonna go past them, but then the ship started to turn.
Oh, okay.
So, like, kind of coming back. So they were like, oh, okay, they see us and they're gonna come help us. Because at first they were like, oh, maybe they're just gonna pass on by.
Yeah.
And so they're, like, getting a little bit closer and they start throwing stuff out, but nothing's getting close enough to them. And Deb is just, like, so ecstatic about it, where she's like, fuck it, I'm jumping in.
No.
And she,
Wait.
so stupid.
You're
I'm like,
so
Deb,
close,
Deb,
Deb.
don't do that. The
Jesus.
sharks. But so she starts swimming towards the little...
To what?
The life ring that they had thrown out.
Are they just going to, like, drag her up?
Yeah.
Like, how do you get into a cargo ship?
Yeah. So, well, okay. So she swims and she gets to the rope.
Okay.
But she's, like, exhausted. So she's, like, just hanging on the rope. She doesn't even look back because she's, like, just so terrified of what's going on. But she feels that they've started to pull it up. So she's kind of letting the rope, like, go through her hand until she gets to the life ring.
The ring. Mm-hmm.
Right. So she is feeling it go through her hands, and then they get there, and she can feel Brad on the life ring. So Brad's on the life ring, and they kind of, like, connect with each other in between the life ring.
Okay.
And they just pull them up. And so, I mean, they have, like, a motorized, I think it's like it's a big ship. So I don't know what the mechanism is for these life rings.
Okay.
But they get them onto the boat.
Okay.
And so these, like, big, huge, like, sailor guys lift them up onto the boat.
Jesus.
And then they realize that they're speaking in Russian. So it's
cares?
a Russian
Great.
cargo ship, and they're like, hallelujah.
Take me to Russia. I don't give a shit.
I don't care.
Yep.
So they're just so happy.
Yeah.
And that luckily they have a doctor on board.
Great.
And so they treat them for hypothermia, the dehydration, all that stuff. And then they contact the U.S. government to help get them back home.
Right.
Yeah. So
And there's 3 dead people we got to tell you about.
yeah. So Deb and Brad made it 5 days. They had drifted 250 miles from land. And they said that that night that it went below freezing out there, and that they would not have made it another night. Like, they would have froze to death
Jeez.
on their little life
Right.
raft. So they got
Where
rescued.
was the Coast Guard?
These are the questions
Okay.
that we have. So from what I gathered, they received a call So the storm was really bad.
Yeah.
The boats went to where they were supposed to. They didn't see a boat. The life raft had drifted so far that it wasn't near them. But they also received a call. The Coast Guard said they received a call saying that the Trashman had made it to shore from someone, like the next day.
What?
And so they were thinking, well, maybe they somehow got to
But
shore,
who
and
even
that's why
knew?
we couldn't find. That's the mystery.
Wait a second.
Yeah. So they called off the search.
Because somebody was like, it's here.
We're
We're
good.
good. So they weren't coming.
They weren't looking for them.
Oh,
At all.
my God.
Yeah.
Who would have even known to call them?
I don't know.
And why would you?
I don't know. That's the big mystery.
Are we sure that it was a window that busted out?
That's what they said. So
Because that is like a
that's
whole nother
shady,
layer.
right?
Ooh.
Yeah. So I have some theories.
Tell me.
I have a theory. Okay. Nobody come for me. But I do want to talk about first about kind of Deb and Brad and where they ended up. So Deb said that was like the worst day of her life getting
Right.
rescued because she felt a lot of not guilt, but just sadness that like if the other three had just lasted
Right.
one more day, they would have been rescued too. And so she was like, it was like a happy day, but like the worst day of my life. So she went on to write an account of the events called Albatross, the true story of a woman's survival at sea. And it was very successful. And it was actually used to create a made-for-TV movie called Two Came Back that came out in 1997, starring Melissa Joan Hart and Jonathan Brandis. You would recognize him. He was like a 90s heartthrob. But I tried so hard to find this movie.
It's not even on Tubi.
I couldn't find it anywhere.
Dang it.
It's like on Netflix in the UK. So I need a VPN or something. I don't know. But I could not find it anywhere. Like I couldn't buy it
Right.
to like stream it anywhere.
Oh.
But I really want to see it because it's got Melissa Joan Hart in it.
Yeah.
And then it also inspired a 2019 Discovery Shark Week film
Oh, okay.
called Capsized: Blood in the Water.
Ooh.
That I was able to find and watch. And it's starring Josh Duhamel.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very good. Obviously, they changed some stuff, but it's
not
very,
bad.
very, very
Okay.
good. So watch it if you want to.
Okay.
Deb was also featured on an episode of I
Survived.
Survived. And also, her and Brad were on an episode, the first episode of the show called I Shouldn't Be Alive,
What is that on?
Discovery.
Okay.
Yeah. So, also very good. I would check it out. And then she also appeared on the Larry King live show in 2006 to promote her second book, No Victims, Only Survivors.
Okay.
Unfortunately, she did pass away in 2012 from undisclosed causes.
Huh?
It was not released what happened.
Maybe it had something to do with the guy that called in.
I don't know.
The ship was safe.
Yeah. But she also was living in Mexico at the time, so I'm not sure, like,
Oh,
yeah, I don't know.
okay.
So Brad, however, is still alive. He continued to sail, which I'm like,
Nope.
okay. And he also was like super in love with Deb after this.
Yeah, I would be too.
And
yeah.
like tracked her down at something, like some kind of like sailing event or something like that to like,
profess his
love. And she, because they hadn't seen each other in a little while. And when she saw him, she was like, I can't see you. Like she
no.
wouldn't even, he wasn't even able to tell her that he loved her because she was so
Like traumatized.
Yeah,
She's
she's
like,
like,
I can't be around you.
I cannot be around you. And so he had kind of like this unrequited love for her for a long time. And he was like obviously super devastated to hear
Yeah.
when she passed away. But the other thing about Brad, which kind of leads into my conspiracy theory about him. So his whole family were sailors,
Okay.
right? He had a really bad relationship with his dad. Like his dad was allegedly
Allegedly.
Like an alcoholic, and like beat his mom, and it was like a really, really bad situation. And then in 1982, when he took this job, he was actually like leaving home for the first time because his mom had filed for divorce. And so he finally felt like he didn't need to protect her
was
anymore.
safe, yeah.
And so he was out looking for a job, and his dad actually offered for him to come on a boat that he was sailing to like Bermuda, maybe the Bahamas. I think it was Bermuda. Is Bermuda kind of close to like off the shore of the Carolinas? It was like a island that's not that far off.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
It starts with a B, one of those.
Okay.
But he turned his dad down,
Right.
and said that he got this job on the Trashman.
Oh, no.
And so I don't know.
Feels like that's the only other person that knew that ship was out there.
Right. And he knew about the storm, and his dad actually
Yeah.
like sailed through like the latter part of that storm.
Damn.
So like he was in the ocean sailing right near where his son was missing,
Wow.
and just went on his way. So I'm like, if somebody made that call, that would be my guess.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. But that's where my mind went.
Okay.
But yes, that is the survival story of Deb Scalling, and also Brad Cavanaugh. But
Yeah, him too.
this is mostly about Deb. What did you think?
That had me up and down. Up and down.
Yes.
Dang. No. No, my brain is just processing. Because it feels like it was sabotage from the beginning.
It feels like, and if not sabotage, just really poor planning for a crew that was so knowledgeable.
Experienced.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Like bad liquor, maybe?
Right.
I don't know.
I think the drinking had an effect on people's judgment. Meg probably shouldn't have been there. They should have gotten out of the storm way earlier than they did. I think arrogance played in a little bit of like, we can get through this.
Yeah.
I think too, the boat was not as well prepared as it needed to be. Like the engine had already like burned out 3 times.
Oh.
Like before they even like got into the situation. So it's like, why would you go out in that situation knowing
You have poor equipment.
right?
Yeah.
Like you probably need that. Like that would have saved them.
Yeah.
If they were able to like get back to shore.
Jeez.
So there was just a lot of stuff that was like, ugh.
Yikes.
But yeah. Well, do not
Yeah.
sign me up for a yachting.
Yeah, we're not moving yachts anywhere. Don't worry. We're
Not
good.
ever. Yeah.
Well, thanks.
Yeah. Well, I know the vibes were off in that story.
Yeah,
A little shark infested waters there.
But here with us, they're always on.
Love
ya.
ya.
Bye. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or YouTube.
You can also find us on Instagram at The Vibes Were Off, TikTok at The Vibes Were Off Podcast, or good old fashioned email at thevibeswereoff@gmail.com.